get out of here, understand? You included.
Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. It's your T-shirted historian, and okay, I know I jump on this a lot, and I know some of y'all are probably sick of hearing about it, and you probably don't want to come here and hear about it, but it is part of current pop culture. It is something that's going to affect pop culture. It's going to affect your video games. It's going to affect your movies. It's going to affect your streaming shows. It's going to affect your art. It's going to affect your role-playing games. So I consider this to be something that is important to pop culture as a whole. And if you haven't already guessed, I am talking about AI. It's already started to affect some of you because if you were in the market for some new RAM or a new video card, you may have noticed that the prices have gone up slightly because the AI centers are buying up all that stuff to use, which is driving the prices through the roof. Now, everybody is saying that, you know, the AI bubble will burst and all that stuff will come skyrocketing down. Wait a minute, that's not right. Skyrocketing down? Submerging down? Submarining down? I don't know. Going down. So, here's my thing with it. I feel like half the internet is either screaming that it's the apocalypse or acting like it's a toy, which, okay, I'm kind of doing that. Or doing that smug thing where they pretend that it's not happening at all. And I'm just sitting here like, are you people not saying what's coming? Because what's coming isn't just AI can make images, or AI can write fan fiction, or AI can do voices, or AI can create some cursed video that looks like a fever dream someone had on NyQuil. What's coming is an entire shift in what entertainment even is. It's going to become a subscription service, just like, well, it already is. I mean, what the hell? I'm paying ChatGPT, you know, what, $20 a month? And Venice, I'm paying it like another $10 a month in order to use the higher functions of their AI capabilities for entertainment purposes. Basically, what am I doing with it? I'm either asking silly questions that I don't want to be bothered to look up the answers to, or I'm generating art, or sorry, it can do that. So why not take advantage of it? But I really want you to sit with that for a second, because if you think Netflix has too many options now and you can't pick something to watch, wait till the point you can literally say out loud, make me a Western film that I've never, ever seen before, starring Clint Eastwood and John Wayne, who have never actually starred in a motion picture together. Throw in some weird supernatural villain and some morally gray violence. Then it just happens, because it happens instantly. Not in 10 years, not in 50 years. We're already seeing the first baby steps of it right now. You can already see the skeleton of it. It's popping up all over the place, and it's coming. It's just a matter of time before they find a way to quantize it, monetize it, and distribute it to you. And that's part of where all of your RAM and your GPUs are going, is to make these things a possibility. It's going to allow you to generate movies that are custom made for you, The pacing will match your attention span. The humor will match your taste. The level of violence will match your threshold for violence. The romance will be there or not there. It might even be able to go a little further than before. I mean, why not? All they got to do is put in the adult filters or whatever, and all of a sudden you're actually seeing, Scarlett Johansson and not in a shitty, beneath the skin movie. Which I got to tell you, I was so excited to see that film because I knew Scarlett Johansson was going to appear naked in it, and then I actually saw the film, and I'm just like, how did you manage to take a woman that is that beautiful and manage to make the experience so mundane? I mean, you might as well have just undressed a mannequin. But I digress. Some of the best parts of what is going to be coming is that if you don't like the direction the film is going, you can change it. You can become your own director. If you don't like that this bad guy got shot early in the film, you can always just say, no, redo that. And he survives that somehow. Or you can say, make the hero smarter. Make the femme fatale more dangerous, make the villain less goofy, make the action more brutal, cut the romantic subplot, keep the dog alive, bring the dog back. I regret killing the dog. Make the dog a robot now. And the AI will just calmly rewrite reality in front of you like it's nothing, and it won't judge you for it. It'll just do what it's told because it has no will of its own. It only has the will that you impart on it. I think that's awesome. You probably don't. You may not. You may be one of those folks out there that is absolutely horrified by AI. You may be terrified about what AI is going to do. But whether you are or not, this is the future. This is where it's going. This is what's going to happen. In the AI future, entertainment becomes software. It updates, it patches, it has versions, it has settings, it has mods. It's already doing that. There, every once in a while I'm using Venice or something, and it pops up that there's a brand new version of it already. And I mean, I can't necessarily tell if the new versions are better or worse for the most part, but I do know that they keep releasing new updates. Do you want to use WAN 2.2? Do you want to use WAN 2.5? Do you want to use WAN 2.6? Help us train our AIs to look better. Maybe it'll have slider settings, that you can put that say, more horror, less cringe, or make this character stop acting like an idiot, or more practical effects vibes, or I want the dialogue to sound like an 80s action movie. It becomes editable. Honestly, that's kind of something I would really look forward to is if there's a setting in there for make this film like a director was on cocaine, I'm absolutely going to hit that slider and move it to 100%. Every time. Hollywood needs to get back on cocaine and off of DEI. AI is going to give you the version of the story that you want instantly. No ego, no studio notes, no budget, no actor contracts, no union negotiations, no weather delays, no location fees, no reshoots. But people say AI is going to kill movies. I don't think that's necessarily correct. AI isn't going to kill movies. It's going to mutate them. It's going to create a new category of media that is so addictive and so personal and so infinitely replayable that it makes watching a normal show feel like eating plain toast while someone else is eating a full buffet built specifically for their taste buds. And me personally, I would love to do that. Nothing would make me happier than to feed all 4 seasons of HBO's Westworld into AI and tell them, okay, I want you to keep this first season exactly as it was because it's perfect, and now make season 2, 3, 4, and 5 that never released and make them not suck. That would be my simplest instructions, Wouldn't that be nice? Take a film that you didn't like because of one reason or another, or one actor or another. I mean, okay, for me, if it's a film with Patton Oswalt in it, I'm automatically going to put that thing through the AI and say, okay, eliminate Patton Oswalt, replace him with somebody else like Danny DeVito or somebody who is actually funny and interesting and doesn't make me want to vomit when I see him on screen. And then there's video games. And we already know that video games are the perfect medium for this because they're not fixed. They're interactive, they're procedural, they're systems. They're already halfway to being AI generated. In fact, we already know that video games are using AI in order to push their code along or make their images and things. So what happens when you combine it with AI? You get a Metroidvania set in a cyberpunk dystopia, but I want role-playing elements, and I want the protagonist to have a tragic past, and I want the bosses to be disgusting biomechanical horrors, and I want a crafting system that's like Monster Hunter, but with gun mods, and I want my hub area to be a neon ramen shop run by an android woman who's suspiciously kind. And then it makes it. And it doesn't build it in 5 years like a studio. It doesn't require lots of new trainees coming in to work on some shitty Unreal Engine 5. It does it for you in minutes. It builds it in hours. Maybe it streams it to you as it's being made. It builds it in a day. It builds it in time it takes you to eat dinner and argue with your friends in Discord. And then you play it. And then you go, this area is too confusing. I can't get through here. And then it fixes it for you. Or there you go, the platforming is too easy. And then it makes it harder. Or you say, I want more story. And it makes more story beats for you. And if you think that's crazy, we already accept streaming games. We already accept live service games. We already accept games being updated forever. We already accept patches, seasons, content drops, balance changes. This week already, I made a video talking about Season 2 of Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. Now imagine if that was distributed by an AI service. I wouldn't have to wait for Season 2. If I wanted a character to appear in that game, I could do it. And I could maybe even assign moves to them or logically moves. It would balance everything out. And, you know, we'd get to play. It would generate story for it too. Because that's how good it's going to be. It's a complete thought process entertainment system. And it's infinitely customizable to whatever you want. You know, entertainment is expensive, and part of the reason it's expensive is because humans are expensive. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I love human creativity. I am a creator myself. I make, you know, besides YouTube, you know, I make my miniatures and I paint them. I create stuff for the TTRPG space. But these things cost money. You need actors, you need crews, you need sets, you need locations, you need lighting, you need equipment, you need editors, you need special effects, you need marketing, you need distribution. Oh, and don't forget, you got to pay the union. It's a machine and it takes time. AI shrinks the machine, it compresses the cost. And once the cost gets low enough, the entire gatekeeping structure of Hollywood becomes optional. You could have one person generating a whole show in their bedroom. You could have a small group of fans generating an entire season of something that feels like it belongs on television. You could have indie creators making stuff that would have been impossible before. And yeah, you're going to have a lot of garbage. You're going to have oceans of garbage. There'll be so much garbage that it becomes a new kind of garbage we haven't even invented yet. You don't believe me? Go look at those past videos of them trying to get AI to get Will Smith to eat a plate of spaghetti. And then look at the newest video of that. It didn't take long, did it? And buried in that garbage, it's going to be gold. And the gold is going to come from people with taste. And that's the part I want to emphasize, is that the future isn't AI makes content so nobody has to create. The future is that taste becomes the most valuable skill, because AI can generate a million things, but it still can't tell you which one is worth your time. Humans still matter because humans are the ones who will still be curating it. We have taste, we have perspective, we have personal obsessions, we have weird little niches and an emotional compass. Okay? Like if I make an AI generated film or something like that, I'm going to throw in a demand in there somewhere where the heroine, takes her shoes off and shows me the soles of her feet at some point. Yeah, I said it. I don't care. But that's the difference between content and art. Speaking of toes, let's talk about the part that everyone tiptoes around. Adult content. Because I'm not going to pretend that it's not part of this. The adult industry has historically been one of the fastest adopters of new technology. It is a $1 billion+ a year industry. In fact, I'm pretty sure one of my guys on the panel is already looking up exactly how many billions the adult film industry is worth on a yearly basis so that they can correct me whenever I stop. And if you're not, you should be. Take that as a hint. And people can clutch pearls all they want, but it's true. Adult content tends to ride the front edge of tech adoption because the incentives are enormous. Like the boobs. And AI is going to absolutely detonate that space because once you generate perfect actors and actresses who never age, never get tired, never need to be paid, never sue you, never have scandals, never need security, never get sick, never sag, you have basically created infinite performers. And you could put them in any setting, any genre, any art style, any fantasy. You could make it realistic. You could make it stylized. You could make it look like grainy 80s VHS tape. You could make it look like a Pixar parody. You could make it look like an anime. You could make it look like a glossy Hollywood production. And you could do it without the limitations of reality. I'm not saying if it's good or bad morally. I'm not here to moralize over it. I'm just saying it's what's going to happen. It is inevitable. It's already happening. It isn't quite where people would like it to be, but it's getting there. And I think it's going to get there sooner rather than later. I'm also going to tell you that this is where a lot of the regulation fights are going to happen because the adult space intersects with consent issues, deepfake issues, identity issues, exploitation issues, and all kinds of stuff that governments and payment processors love to get involved in. So it's going to be chaotic, but the demand is going to be enormous because AI doesn't just generate passive content. It generates interactive content. And that is the real transformation. It's not just AI prawn. It's AI intimacy as a service. It's interactive narratives. It's companionship. It's role play. It's personalized everything. And people are going to pretend this isn't happening until it's already become a normal thing. And then they're going to act shocked about it. And the part where I'm going to be brutally honest is the future you're looking at is not just more entertainment. It's the end of shared culture as we know it. Because right now, we still have shared cultural moments. We all watched this show. We all played this game. We all saw this movie. We all argued about it. We all posted memes. We all had the same experience. Matter of fact, me and this panel are going to have some shared cultural moments over the stuff we're going to look at today. But in an entertainment future that is bespoke, people are going to have their own private canon, their own shows, their own games, their own stories, their own characters, their own plot lines, and their own endings. They may not want to share them with everybody else. They may just want to keep it for themselves to enjoy and not let someone else ruin. Imagine if you could take all 9 of those Star Wars films, keep the ones that you like, and then get AI to redo it all. The ones you don't, you know? You know which 6 I'm talking about. And imagine it came out better. And it's your personal canon. This is the way you wanted Star Wars to come out. This is the way you wanted, Episode 9 to come out. Maybe you didn't want Rey in it at all. Hey, why not? You can do that. It'll be your personal thing. Nobody else can touch it. You'll be sitting there at work like, oh, dude, you have to watch the show. And your coworker will be like, I can't. It doesn't exist. And you'll be like, no, it exists on my stream AI. And they'll be like, yeah, on your stream AI. Mine gave me a totally different version. And that's going to be surreal. It'll be like everybody is writing fan fiction, but the fan fiction is generated at a cinematic quality and it's delivered like a Netflix video. And does that mean traditional media dies? No. Because humans still want shared moments. Humans still want community. Humans still want to be part of something. We're still going to have the big show everyone watches. We're still going to have major studio films. We're still going to have celebrities, and we're still going to have franchises. But what changes is that those franchises will have competition for your time that never existed before. And not competition from another studio, but competition from your own imagination. And that's the enemy. Studios cannot compete with your imagination when it's being generated in real time and customized for your taste. They can't. So what's going to happen? They're either going to embrace it or fight it or try to control it, and you already know what they're going to do. They're going to try to control it. They're going to lock down likeness rights. They're going to lock down voices. They're going to lock down character designs. They're going to lock down everything they can. Which is why I think you're going to see a split, because you're going to see mainstream approved AI entertainment that is sanitized, licensed, safe, corporate. And then you're going to see the Wild West, the underground, the independent ecosystem, people generating anime in their garage, people making games that are too weird for any publisher or too unsafe. People creating entirely new genres that didn't exist before because they can do it. And that's where the most interesting stuff is going to happen, because the most interesting stuff always happens where the weirdos are. Or nerds, if you prefer, or geeks, if you prefer, whatever you want to call us. But we are different, guys. We are. We're the ones with the creativity and the ingenuity and the dreams to think of something beyond just the next football game. Right? And so if you've been listening this far, you might be asking, well, how far away is all this t-shirt? And here's the honest answer. Pieces of it are already here. Short films are already here. AI animation is already here. AI-assisted game generation is already here. Voice generation is already here. Interactive chat companions are already here. What's not fully here yet is the perfect version. The version where you can generate a full 2-hour movie with flawless continuity, perfect acting, perfect cinematography, no uncanny movement, no plot holes, and it holds together like a real production. And that's harder, but the direction is obvious. And technology has a funny way of being impossible until it suddenly isn't. So when people tell me AI will never replace real movies, I just shrug, because nobody is asking if it replaces real movies. We're asking if it creates a new thing that most people can't resist. And I think it will, because the strongest drug in entertainment is not spectacle, it's personalization. It's feeling like something was made for you, created by you. That's why fandom exists. That's why people obsess over headcanons. That's why they write fan fiction. That's why they argue over ships. This is why we used to sit in the cafeteria and have fights over who would win, the Enterprise or a Star Destroyer. Or why I still keep saying things like, Ken Shido would easily defeat the entire roster of Street Fighter characters like they're not even there. And it's true. That's why people rewrite endings in their head. That's why we scream at protagonists like they're real. That's why we get mad when we see modern social media that is not servicing what we want, by losing track of the stories and the plots and the elements and all the things that we grew to love in those original series. Star Trek, Star Wars, Willow, the Marvel comics, the DC comics, everything that you love that has been destroyed over the last few years. This is why we get mad. It's not because we hate these things so much, is that we love them and we hate what's being done to them. Well, now AI gets to turn that into a feature. We get to change all those things if we want. We didn't like that Shazam movie with The Rock. Let's recast it with someone else. Let's make it a better film. Why not? We can do that. If it's in the privacy of our own homes on our own personal stream. And if you want to share it with a friend or two, why not? It's all data. It's all copyable. It's all storable. If I happen to make the best version of Westworld that I've ever seen in my entire life, or could have imagined, I should say, why not keep it to watch it again and again? I mean, I watched the shitty one from HBO just so I can try to figure out where they went wrong. I'm not an AI doomsayer. A lot of people are, but I'm not. I like AI. I think it's pretty exciting. I think it's going to create the most insane era of creativity humanity has ever seen. But I also think that people are underestimating how much it's going to change their relationship with entertainment, because once you can generate anything, the real question becomes, what do you choose to generate? And that's going to say a lot about who we are. So I'll end this rant on this. The future isn't just AI movies and AI games. The future is a subscription service where you pay for a personal entertainment engine that knows your tastes better than you do. You want a Western? You want a cyberpunk Metroidvania? You want a horror romance? You want to change the ending? It does it all for you. And the moment you get bored, it invents something new. So when people act like AI is just a trend or a gimmick or a toy or the apocalypse made incarnate, I don't know what to tell them, because what's coming is going to be so much bigger than that. It's the end of entertainment being a product, and it's the beginning of entertainment being a conversation. And whether that's beautiful or terrifying depends entirely on who's holding the steering wheel. All right, guys. I can see my private chat is piling up and the comments are piling up, so I know you guys have had a lot to say. Let's bring on our panelists, because we got a lot to cover today. A lot of stuff happened this week. Hey, guys.
I was worried I was going to be late because my computer takes forever to start, but you were in full flow, so.
I mean, you know, I'm so passionate about this. And stop, Ironcaster. Westworld again. You know, that was supposed to be my holy grail.
3 times over the course of that rant. I'm just saying, dude, why not cut a video for some of this? We could. Well, I could cut a video for all this. In fact, I might cut a video for this. I may just, ask Animane, hey, can you just cut that rant and style it up a little bit and throw it out there? Because it may be worth it. I don't know.
Nah, you can script your monologue and that'd probably do just as well.
Yeah, could be. But let's see, who do we have here?
I'm cold. I'm feeling frustrated. I live on Hoth today.
Yeah, so do I. Not as hothy as you. It's only 10 degrees outside.
If only I could be so lucky.
Well,
guys,
I only really caught one thing there in your opening spiel that I disagree with. And
what's that?
Not so much that I disagree with it, is that people don't understand it. When people hear about a bubble or they talk about a bubble,
mm-hmm.
they only know about the artificial economic bubbles that make history, so to speak,
mm-hmm.
such as the housing bubble or the tulip bubble, or the South Seas bubble. Things where artificially inflated prices, artificially inflated money is dumped in, it swells up and it pops and it causes a massive collapse and it basically all dies out. But what they forget is, and this is what AI is, there are natural bubbles. They're very natural economic bubbles, one of which would be the most common one that I can think of recently is the .com bubble. And the part that everybody remembers of the .com bubble is all the nonsense of basically trying to snatch up domains and stuff. What they forget is what powered it was the idea that things were starting to move online, which was 100% true. And it was, there's 50 or 60 different companies that are really the spine of this growth in this high-speed internet, connectivity. Right. And really, we're all dumping a ton of money into these dumping a ton of money into these companies, because what we're doing is we're more or less betting on which horse is going to be the one that actually wins out in the end. And that's what you see with AI. You have all these different AI companies, each that have their different pieces of innovation, each that have their different things that they're better at.
Oh, yeah.
Have their different connections that are getting tons of money pumped into them, and they're all grossly overvalued. But what's going to happen is when the quote-unquote bubble pops, it's not going to be AI is over. It's going to be all of those bubbles pop, or that bubble pops, and all of those other companies are going to collapse while the investment in them consolidates into those handful of bigger AIs. And then you're going to have like Comcast, for instance, owns a massive chunk of the infrastructure for the internet. So does Verizon, for that matter. That's what you're going to have. It's going to have Grok or DeepSeek or Gemini or Alphabet. One of them is going. One or two of them are going to end up with essentially the AI infrastructure that they own, that we all just kind of build off of for the rest of the.
Oh, that's the way it's always been. I mean, that's how Windows got to be popular, but Linux still exists, and then there's Apple. Yeah. Everything usually boils down to two or three top dogs. I mean, hell, even in Cyberpunk, it's between Militech and Arasaka.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's also a matter of just you're seeing the times and ages change. Like there was always sort of an assumption that these industries were going to stay forever, kind of firmly in place, as though these towers of power can't fall. I mean, you look at what's Hollywood is experiencing now. It is the natural disruption, as they've basically built up an empire with no other alternative, that didn't expect both the video games to start supplanting them, as well as the technology and the tools with AI that are generated to realize that all this industry of power can be completely overturned with just a changing of the times.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I do want to point out that was actually a positive rant. So, okay, Grim?
No, I missed half of it. But.
Well, that's okay. You can go back and watch it. But yes, it was actually a positive rant. I'm just kind of outlining what's coming. But anyway, look who we got in the audience, man. We got Raven CS McCracken. Woo!
Nope.
Good to see you, bud. We got K Mike. It's good to see you. We got Mercurius. What are you doing, bud? We got Bob the Odd. Yes, we're gonna take a look at that He-Man trailer. Poor Orc Child. Her butt was all the bubble. Yes, it was. We love you too, dude. But okay, wow, we've got so much stuff. I dropped a video earlier this week about when I think the Kenshido, Hokuto no Ken anime is dropping to coincide with Kenshido showing up in Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. So yeah, once again, I'm just going to reiterate. I think it's going to be an April anime release, and it's going to be a May Kenshido release. And I think that's going to be tied into Evo and a few other things. But that's not all we got. We got some other things. The biggest thing, we ought to start with this. Well, actually, first, I'm going to say, Grim, you sat through all of Stranger Things season 5?
Yes.
And you, when you say you enjoyed it or you liked it, okay, are you saying just season 5? You're saying like as a collective, as a whole? Okay. I can agree with that. Some seasons were definitely better than others. I remember season 3 being particularly a big letdown from season 1 and 2. Nothing beats season 1. Any disagreement?
Well, I think season 3, isn't that the one that had the soft pilot in the middle of it that was just a failure?
I guess it's the one that where it had, what's her name's brother who is in league with the Dark Force thingy, and the big giant kaiju monster, rampages and destroys them all, and there's a Russian bunker under it and all this other crap. And
but isn't it also the one where it's like the one chick goes off to another town and has like her little, superhero clique that they kind of fool around with for no reason for a little while?
I can't remember I think it was that season. That's the one where they introduce Shiva and their little friends, and 11 joins their group and starts looking all edgy for a little bit. And
that's where they were. Yeah, and that's what I was getting at. Is that I'm pretty sure that season had a soft pilot for like an 11 spinoff.
Oh, wait a minute. K Mike says that's season 2. Was it season 2? Okay.
Season 2 that 11 had the little, they had that little soft pilot for the 11 and her teenage cool kid, her teenage
Powered Kitties.
Power Kitties spinoff.
The X-Men.
Scanners meets Lost Boys is the vibe, I think.
Yeah.
That could have been fun if they gave it more time to work and to breathe, but it didn't.
Yeah.
That's it. And it was a soft pilot, and they realized that it had no legs, and then they let it die. Thank God.
Yeah. Season 4, I think, was really good too. But it was, I got to say, largely it was because of Eddie. I mean, Eddie made season 4.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they had to kill him off at the end of it, which that pissed off everybody. Even though, the Duffer Brothers like, oh, we don't like to kill off characters because we got to think about how it's going to affect them. I'm like, you chicken shits, just kill people. It's fine. It happens. And speaking of that, we did have, we've had a lot of shit happen this week. Let me go back through our list of stuff. Obviously the RAM prices jumping up to insane levels are part of it because of all the AI stuff. I mean, I was looking at the pricing on GPUs today, and it's ungodly. But this happened earlier this week, and I thought we could discuss this really quick because we really do have a lot to cover, guys. Thoughts about asking a DM not to kill your character. This is coming from a DM. I have a player that has informed me that they have a preference for not having their character killed in a campaign. This player is okay with doing combat, but is largely interested in RP and said they have wanted to play D&D for a while, but we're scared because they get attached to their characters and believe that since death can happen in D&D, that they're worried about seeing it happen to their character they get attached to, and it could be very upsetting for them. They were slightly embarrassed by this and asked me not to tell the other players who were okay with death happening to their characters.
Well, they should be.
Yeah. Now I will tell you my thoughts.
Role play.
Yeah. But I wanted to see how other DMs feel. While I agree with other DMs that death adds stakes and permanence to a campaign and can often elevate the RP and drama to another level, I also recognize people play for different things. I thank this player for being honest with me about what they want and told them not to worry about it. I will work around them not wanting their player to die, but that doesn't mean they're immune in combat or that their decisions don't matter. They can still be knocked down and their actions will still have consequences in the future for their character, as well as impacts the other players as well. I just won't be going for the throat on them, and they need to make sure the rest of the table is okay with it. They agreed and brought it up to the table, and they were okay with it because they cared more about them playing with us than what their personal stakes were. But I wanted to get the opinions of other DMs and what your thoughts on if a player brought that up to you and they don't want their character to die. I honestly, I've been playing with people who are not Grimm's group, obviously, but with people who kind of are playing role-playing games like they are some kind of a wish fulfillment fantasy where they get highly unpleasant with me if their characters do die. Yeah. So
I think the fundamental issue is the question is what do they ultimately want? Do they want to role play or do they want to play Dungeons and Dragons? Because while these can be there is crossover between them. The issue is that this is someone who fundamentally just wants to RP. And
I honestly think that's what it is. I think it's a case of we want to role play as something else, but we don't want necessarily to have all the consequences of bad decisions and everything else. And we also want the power fantasy, but we have to have a rule structure and rule set. This group of gamers was also kind of like, if your character gets killed, they very quickly get Deus Ex Machina, raised from the dead very quickly with very little effort. So death just becomes a slight stumbling block and not a major campaign hurdle. I don't know.
There's other games for that.
There are.
But games that have combat have to have consequences for combat, have to have real consequences for combat. That stumbles dangerously close to the 4D role playing garbage, which I just did a rather lengthy debate on that over on Legion of Myth. I had a debate with Max Liao, or not Max Liao, with Max, Mr. Max. But it's ridiculous. All right, here's the thing about player agency and about control your character and all that kind of stuff. You know what? None of our characters want to get hit in the face with an axe, but sometimes the orc rolls a high enough number to do it. And when you get hit in the face with the axe, it doesn't magically bounce off just because your character. You want plot armor as a feat. To that character, the player that's described in that particular post, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, here is a couple of numbers to some very good therapists, because you have serious issues if you not detach yourself from your fantasy character. All right, that is a problem that you need to go address because you have mental issues.
Well, okay.
That, if you want to role play, it's like, hey, I get that, man. We'll play some Call of Cthulhu. I mean, heck, we may even have a cyberpunk game. So you need to understand that, yes, you can still die. I mean, when the king in yellow sends his minions after you, you can end up bent backwards over an altar. But the simple fact of the matter is here is a game that is built far more on playing the character, investigating, and getting around the situation, and far less on combat and fighting demons and dragons. And it's like, the people play these games to live that heroic role. There is no heroism in an ensured outcome.
I understand that, but there's another element to it that you might not have considered, and that is, let's say I had a really great campaign under Grimm. He ran a really good game. I had a character who excelled, built up, maybe got to 7th or 8th level, had a good rapport, had some great stories to tell and everything else. And then I go and decide to play in Ironcaster's campaign. He's running the same kind of game. And I say, well, can I bring over my character from Grimm's game? And Ironcaster says, sure. And little do I know it, but Ironcaster, had a shitty day at work. And he sits down at the table, and his dice are feeling particularly vindictive that day. And sure enough, my awesome, cool character that I really love because I took time to build it up and everything gets myrtleized in probably the most embarrassing fashion in Ironcaster's game.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. This is just something I want to ask. You've been playing games for a long time, right?
Oh, yeah.
I've played a lot of characters.
Yeah. What are you messing with?
You've had characters die, right?
What are you messing with?
Well, I'm just wondering what time you had a character die in one of your games.
We're getting feedback on your mic.
The character spontaneously burst into flames and was not able to be used at another table after it died in one game.
Dragon, you're unscrewing something and we can hear it.
Oh, sorry, I adjusted my mic.
Yeah.
It was flopping around. I was trying to tighten it up. Anyway, At what point, when your character died in game, the orc rolled its critical hit or dragon breathed fire on it or whatever, at what point did the actual character sheet spontaneously burst into flames, preventing you from playing that character at another game?
Once.
Or at another table, or in
Once.
One time.
One time it happened. No.
Did this happen because the DM reached over and grabbed it and put it in the shredder, or did this happen because it actually spontaneously did that? Like there was no gap. It's like,
well, listen,
dice bounces, 6 damage, you're dead, and all of a sudden there's just a fire next to it.
I can't really tell you if you're talking. Okay, so yes, that actually did happen to me. The very first time I went out and gamed with a group that wasn't my normal bunch. And yeah, it's like they pretty much myrtleized my character within the first 5 minutes. This is also where I developed my dislike for Dragon Riders of Pern, by the way. I've told this story many times. And they demanded my character sheet, and they took it. And I never saw that character again.
Well, I'd have told them, no, I'll put it in my folder, and maybe I won't play it here anymore, but you're not taking my property and destroying it.
Yes. But when you're a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old and you don't really know how all this stuff is supposed to work, and you think you're gaming with people who do know how it's supposed to work, you just kind of take it on face value that, oh, this is just what happens when your characters die. And I've been in other games where the DM stipulated up ahead of time that, yeah, if your character dies in this dungeon, I get your character sheet. And but he laid that out, ahead of time so people knew. So yeah, there are actual cases where, yeah, the death of your character means the loss of your character for real.
Well, I've got a Xerox machine, so I can make copies of my character sheet. I remember how numbers work, so I can put them back on another sheet. And I would challenge that DM to show up at the game I'm playing in the next week when I pull that character sheet out and to stop me from playing him right then, because I'll bounce his head off the table more than the dice bounce.
Well, I don't, that's the thing. Usually once you're bitten by a DM like that, you don't go back to him. And yeah, like Raven says, he used to tear character sheets. So even he used to do stuff like that. But
it doesn't.
I think it all depends.
Maybe you play, you're like, hey, we're not going to play these characters anymore. That character's gone, and we are going to destroy him because we're never going to bring that particular character back in our game and our situation. But the simple fact of the matter is that there's nothing that can stop you from doing that. And I'll even take it a step further and satisfy both sides here. I have a character in my current 3.5 Oriental Adventures game. She is on, I think they're up to quintuplets at this point, because her character died, so her twin sister showed up. And then
I get it. Yeah.
Then her triplet showed up. She has literally had her Dragon Clan samurai has died like 5 times. And
my mother had octuplets.
She's level 4, and she's on like her 3rd or 4th sister at this point.
Yeah.
Out of respect to my twin brother, I'd like you to refer to me by his name. I want to keep on his legacy.
Oh, she just changed.
His name was Clyde.
It was like Zanaki, and then Zanaka, and then Zanako.
What were you going to say, Grim?
I would say I think it depends what game you're playing. They said DM, so I'm assuming Dungeons and Dragons. Right?
Yeah.
In which case, sort of tactical combat and so on is very much part of the field of play that you're going on to. Whereas another game with perhaps more emphasis on story and character development and narrative, it's not such a big deal because you're not setting out to kill characters. They generally have to be supremely stupid if that's the focus of the campaign.
Yeah,
I just tell people mostly that I'm not a killer GM, but if shit happens, shit happens. I'll give everyone a chance to try and rescue you or stabilize you or whatever. But if you die, you die. But I'm not out to get you. So play careful, just like a real person would, if you want to keep your character alive.
Which I think is generally just the best advice you could give someone. It's like, hey, I'm sorry, I can't show you favoritism. Just be careful. If the dice start to go bad, you always have the option to run away.
What does it always say? Don't go put your dick in the green devil mouth, and you won't have fear of annihilation. Exactly.
All right.
It's just an issue that you have. The question is, what are they looking for? And I think ultimately, people who are looking to games like Dungeons and Dragons for quite possibly the wrong reason, but. And again, we're along very similar tracks, so I think it's just sort of people who've gotten the wrong idea about what Dungeons and Dragons is and probably should be.
When he dies, he dies. me personally, I want to play Cinnabar. I want Raven C.S. McCracken to run Cinnabar, and I want to go hang out with his god that plays rock and roll music, because there is one. I do. That's my one goal in life, is to get Raven C.S. McCracken to run Cinnabar and for me to be in a Cinnabar game. You heard it. I said it. But we had some other things popping up this week that are... How do I even go into this? I tell you what, we can only do this through the medium of cinema. So, shall we travel to a far-off place in the future?
To explore strange new worlds? Do you want to make a difference in our galaxy? Are you gay, bi, genderqueer, BIPOC, or extremely obese? Join Starfleet. Starfleet Academy is currently looking for candidates who meet our extremely low admission standards. Forget James T. Kirk and Jean-Luc Picard, those guys are yesterday's news. And they're white. The Starfleet of today is built on the backs of neurodivergent lesbians. Their very large backs. To qualify for Starfleet, you must meet our physical standards by being at least 300 pounds. You must have at least one, preferably more, handicap or mental illness. Wearing glasses is a plus, even though we eliminated blindness 700 years ago. They just make you look smart, okay? Not too bright? No problem. The Academy is looking for people with an IQ of 70 or less.
I think I swallowed my comm badge.
Already? Yeah. But most of all, we're looking for people who hate straight white males. Because diversity is the future, and the future is Starfleet. Officer commission not guaranteed upon graduation. Financial aid is available unless you are white. Individual experiences may vary. Starfleet is an equal opportunity employer unless you are white. Obese cadets may not be small enough to fit through the holodeck doors. Also, we hate white people.
God bless the Bay. Love them.
You can watch it for free, the first episode for free on YouTube, and you can cringe your way through it just like I did. Although I have it on Paramount Plus as part of my subscription, so I get to watch it on the expensive channel.
I can also slam my testicles in a glass sliding door for free, but why would I do that?
Exactly. Yeah. It's, I could hire a large German man to kick me repeatedly in the testicles, but I mean, why would I?
Congratulations, you shoot your subscription.
That's between you and Hans.
Yeah, but yeah, that show is terrible. It was definitely okay. First off, I have to preface by saying they did establish that it's somehow not actually connected to the actual Trek universe that we all know and love, although they constantly keep referencing things from it. I don't know.
They had a Jim Hadar there.
It's not just a Jem'Hadar, it's a half Klingon, half Jem'Hadar, which I didn't even think was possible. Yeah.
They don't breed, they're grown in tubes.
Actually, this brings up a really interesting question. Almost every person in that show is half this, half that, which I guess is supposed to say something about diversity. And yet, if you look over at the latest versions of D&D, they eliminated all the half races because they're problematic. So what is our thinking on all this, you DEI people? Do we not like half breeds, or do we like half breeds?
You're looking for them to make sense, and they won't. All I know is that Cisco's going to come back from the Great Temple, and he's going to walk out of the wormhole, and he's going to turn around and walk right the hell back in and be like, "You're right. This linear time shit sucks. Just wipe it all out."
So
you were right.
That great.
Delete it.
Go ahead, Grim.
There was that great DS9 episode where they find the baby Jem'Hadar and they try to raise it. This is the are orcs fundamentally evil question,
right?
And Star Trek answered that in this instance by saying, yeah, in the case of the Jem'Hadar, they're genetically engineered as a warrior race. They are. You can't educate them out of it. You can't raise them out of it. It's who they are. It's what their instincts are. They're dangerous. Now, is this set far into the future? Is this the
1,000 years after?
Is this the STD timeline? Is it?
It's not even STD from what it's like a totally separate other.
Right. Well,
is it STD?
Supposed to be. It's supposed to be taken up the 1,000 years after everything that came before timeline that Discovery gave. So this is the far, far, far distant future past everything.
So I mean, I suppose they could have rehabilitated them somehow genetically.
But they crossbreed them with Klingons. I mean, what's the thinking here? It's like, hey guys, we're gonna go get a crocodile and we're gonna go mate it with a gecko because they're both lizards, right?
Well, the fundamental problem is they've put in a lot of this as a big ask that they have to explain. They have to get the audience to buy into it, and they seem to just fundamentally fail to understand that. I mean, there's so many fallacies, so much at fault with this series.
Yes,
because Starfleet Academy is supposed to be the place for the best of the best, where there should be some standards that everyone has to achieve, and fundamentally, it's incompatible with the ideas of the religion of the time that we live in, the spirit of the ages, that has to go and try to say that everyone can be capable, everyone has the potential to be able to become the Starfleet officer.
You're going to find out that all Jem'Hadar are women.
This is the sound of me taking medication.
Right?
Well,
And
it's the disco.
Actually, might all. They're constantly PMS.
If it is the disco timeline, then they could be scraping the bottom of the barrel for recruits because of all that bullshit about the dilithium crystals and
the
burn.
The burn, yeah, that's established. That's one of the things. The burn happened.
But Star Trek has always been about overcoming differences, diversity, all of that. You know, it was a different context in the 60s. The idea of having a Russian helmsman alongside American officers, that was, oh my God. You know, and the first interracial kiss on TV and all the other things there. Then if we get to DS9 and TNG, we did have characters in wheelchairs, but in that instance, that was the woman who was from a really low gravity planet. And they had her for most of the time in an exoframe that held her up, right? And now we're back to an old-fashioned wheelchair. They don't have like a hover wheelchair or a force field full body prosthetic or anything.
The problem is it's that progressivism has kind of gone back around on itself to effectively say, no, it was wrong for us to fix them for this.
Yeah, one of the other things that's different though, and this I think is a very key and important difference, is Star Trek. If you look at the original series, it was the evolution of the human race working within itself. We still had plenty of issues with the other alien races because they were still alien, but we were able to get past and work, as a species. And you actually ended up, when you start getting into TNG, a lot of the races they're monochromatic to a certain extent. It's like
literally
virtually all Klingons are the same. Virtually all Romulans are the same. Humans are the only real diversity, with the exception of the occasional oddball. But, you would have different races that represented different facets of, mainly they represented different facets of human cultural history, with the glorious Federation coming to have Picard tell them how we outgrew that centuries ago and how to fix it. And then DS9 was slap him in the face with reality, with Cisco standing up saying, that shit works great on Earth, where we can just go walk up to the Coke machine and get a car and a house and all the food we want out of it, because we've completely solved all that stuff. But, out here in the real world, it don't work like that. And you had the melting pot of DS9 was everybody having to work through their stuff. And now it's just like, no. We're going to fix that. You've got to be Earth on DS9 everywhere.
Oh, Lord Thoth. Black Vulcans. Okay, I can deal with that. Okay, that doesn't bother me. But we have a black Klingon, which that really isn't a thing either. Because we've had them before. But this guy doesn't want to be a warrior. He wants to be a doctor, and he likes birds, and he's a pacifist. And it's just like, wow, we're playing so hard against type that it's not even funny. Oh, and he's gay.
It's like they effectively de-penised him as a man. That idea that he doesn't have battles. Like, it's as if to say he's a Klingon without honor.
Yeah, he is a Klingon without honor.
there were a few episodes where they explored the broader Klingon culture, in which we did have that elderly scientist Klingon who was kind of pissed off at everything because his work wasn't valued because he wasn't a warrior, and we had Worf's ex show up who didn't really fit in the culture as well.
She was a half-breed.
I think they have nibbled away at the edges of this stuff before and rounded out the races, particularly the ones you spent a lot more time interacting with. So Klingons, Romulans, Cardassians, Vulcans, we've seen more of their culture than just their military on a starship.
But I don't the exceptions, not the rule, and that's what the show seems to be pushing.
I don't think the idea is wrong. It's just I think the way they're going about it isn't thought through.
No,
and isn't really in the spirit of Star Trek. You know, Geordi had his visor, which let him see, but also had its own issues and problems as well as giving him advantages.
We have fucking exoskeletons in this world that allow people to walk. It allows old people who don't have the physical strength to pick up heavy items and move them. And I know this because I've seen this shit.
And if it's 1,000 years into the future from everything we've ever known, from Voyager, you know, the Doctor was giving people holographic organs and things.
Yeah.
For God's sake, mobile emitters and holographic prosthetics could be a thing as well.
And one of the characters is supposed to be a
hologram
themselves, like a holographic teenager who's going to academy themselves.
Yeah.
Like, well,
why would you do this?
No, well, not only that. Like, and the thing is, you could go the route of, say, introducing like a hologram who's of the age of the other students, but not necessarily make them a student themselves. Make more so of an advisor who's made to be on par with them, because at the end of the day, students aren't going to necessarily be as open with a teacher as they would with someone on their levels, on par with them. It's like it seems like they've fundamentally just don't understand.
Yes, I think that's most of what it is. It's writers who don't know enough about the lore. I mean, they may have just gotten like cursory snippets of it, but they don't really understand the lore or the implications or how it works in the greater Trek universe. They don't have any real world experiences to back up any of this stuff either. So all they can do is write about shit that they personally know about, which is probably getting overpriced coffee and, eating off of the off of their special cafes that are built into their office jobs where they can get a foot massage and sleeping pods and all that other bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
It's like they've got a starship entirely crewed by clones of Reg Barclay.
Yeah, well, except Reg Barclay was cool though.
Well, he works as a weird exception, right?
Yeah.
But not. You need the context of the rest of the competent crew and everything for that to work.
Well, yeah. The thing is, with
the storytelling is a major problem here. And
the thing is, with a character like Barclay, like, yeah, sure, the others had a problem with him, but it was Picard who was there to say, no, he's one of our crew. It doesn't matter. You have to learn to work with him to get past these differences. And modern Trek has taken the opposite route, and they've killed off crew members and like made jokes about their deaths. It's like, no, he was just a fucking idiot.
Yeah, they celebrated whenever they blew up an entire starship full of other people, and they were like, "That's a teachable moment." I'm like, "What are you, fucking psychotic?"
Well, yeah, they are, but that's
kind of evil.
That's aside from the point. Like I said, a big issue here is the structure of the storytelling. What you used to have was Star Trek is supposed to be the idealized humans. A lot of the aliens and alien interactions represent interactions with different issues in society, accepting things, and solving problems. Unfortunately, the progressive ideology has moved into a nature of we don't fix problems anymore. The problems are, how dare you fix a problem? How dare you fix somebody with a disability? They're fine the way they are. They're just as good as they are. So now they're trying to integrate that back into Star Trek. And the biggest part with the story issue is It was, here's a problem, here's how we solve it. You educate your audience through making the change. Now they just start with we have the solution in place, which of course the solution is don't fix the problem, but it starts on the end. It starts with everything fixed, and I have to tell you how you're wrong for trying to unfix it.
Yeah, I mean,
classic Trek would go and explore the idea and look at it and say, maybe we're wrong, or maybe the other side has some validity to their ideas. Modern Trek and these writers are basically saying, no, we have to educate you and tell you why our idea is better, or why can't you just come join the Federation so you can be corrected, so you be educated on how you were wrong.
Yeah, old Trek left it more or less kind of judgment free. They left it up to the viewer to decide what the morality of the situation was and whether they were right or wrong. But
I think they did a story like that on a planet where there were like two castes of people. The upper echelons were all genetically engineered for perfection, but that meant they had very little genetic diversity. So they were all dying of this plague, while the lower classes, who still bred normally, weren't dying off.
Yep, I remember that episode. That's where they tried to make clones out of Star Trek people to get DNA. But one of the things I think that is really, I mean, all the characters pretty much are terrible. I'm just straight out. I don't think there's any characters in the show that are actually interesting. Or if they are interesting, they're not interesting for very long because they open their mouths and say something, and then you're going, "Oh, you're a moron." And I think the worst is the person in charge of the ship, and that's Holly Hunter. I mean, as an actress, yeah, she's brilliant, but this is the wrong role for her, or they have cast her. I don't know how much of it is her and how much of it is the direction. Because, okay, Holly Hunter is not a very tall woman. I think she's like, barely 5 feet or below. But I think they intentionally built the captain's chair to be oversized for her. And so she curls up on it like it's a fucking couch. And then she reads books made out of paper, which is kind of like, you wouldn't do that. And then she wears glasses, which is also like, they had Red Nikes 5 way back in Kirk's time. Do you think like a few thousand years past that they wouldn't have found a cure for blindness, for any kind of eye disorders? I mean, even fucking Geordi had his sight restored. So, but I mean, she doesn't like to wear footwear, so she walks around with her feet out all the time. And I know, Grim, you'd think that would make me, sexually excited. It kind of doesn't. It's just, she's 5'5", which ain't that short, but she just looks tiny compared to everybody else. And the way they built the chair setup, she's super small.
But if she's running around barefoot everywhere, they can do a story about an outbreak of intelligent verrucas or something.
Yeah, I guess, or foot fungus.
Kitchen in every single episode, though.
That'd be funny if she gets taken over by an alien foot fungus that controls her, but.
The problem
she is slim.
It's body language. It just seems like she couldn't care any less about what she's doing, about anyone around her. Like, there's no respect coming from her in this position of command. I mean, if her decisions are going to potentially have the lives of anyone on board the ship at risk, I wouldn't feel safe with her in command, because it looks like she doesn't want to be there any more than I would.
Yeah, not only that, but well, I mean, it's like, well, look at Discovery. How many times did you have officers openly arguing on the bridge with the captain about decisions? I mean, that shit would not be tolerated in the regular military.
No, there's a chain of command that has to be respected. We had amazing Next Generation episodes about this.
Yes, we did. Like the Jellicoe episode, the Captain Jellicoe episode. Everybody, everyone hates that episode, or they hate Captain Jellicoe, but it really is kind of like, hey, he's not that bad of a guy if you really sit down and look at it.
Yep. It's just very different to Picard.
Yes, just very different. That's all.
I mean, it's not even be military. it's way worse that it's military. Like that makes it far more egregious. But on any ship, even if you're talking an oil tanker or a science vessel, there is a strict chain of command that is followed and a strict formality to how things do, because it's extremely dangerous even in the modern day. You got to do what you're doing, or you're gonna die out in the ocean.
Well, even your job,
if you to accomplish your job, it's like, you're going to screw up my scientific experiment because all this research we're doing out here, all these millions of dollars we're spending, because you want to half-ass around, goof off, and argue.
Yeah, or it's like,
we're under attack. I'm sorry. Why don't you finish reading that chapter of your book, and we can see about saving the lives of the rest of the crew.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty sad. Grim, I dare you to watch that show and try to defend it.
That one I won't. I did like Strange New Worlds, which of course means it's been cancelled after not enough seasons. So
cool. Yeah. Well,
maybe if I pretend to like it, it'll be cancelled.
Yeah, there you go. So just put out a video telling how much you like it, and then somewhere in the bottom put a disclaimer like, I don't really like it. But let's look at something that we may or may not like. I previewed this once, and I wasn't quite sure how I felt. I'm sure some of you have seen this already, too. I don't necessarily want to tear this to pieces because I kind of have some hope for it, but then I also kind of have some misgivings. I mean, it's kind of like there's part of me that really wants to love this, embrace it, and say, God, this is so cool. Then there's part of me that goes, I still remember what you did, Kevin Smith. I still remember. I didn't forget, you motherfucker. Anyway.
You want to fuck He-Man up again?
Uh-huh. We'll have to stop it, I guess, so we don't get copyrighted. But we might get copyrighted anyway, though.
All that stuff that only exists in legends.
So that's Zor. I remember him. Who's got the member berries? Member? I remember Zor.
Bedtime stories.
Castle Grayskull looks fucking cool.
It does.
It's not green.
You know what it looks like? It looks like the Castle Grayskull playset from the 80s.
Yeah, it does.
Like it looks
from the
just
front.
like it.
I like it. I'm not upset with that.
Talking tigers, spaceships, and magic swords that can make a man as mighty as a god. Where I come from, that stuff is real.
Now they missed a perfect opportunity to put Cringer there.
They should at least be able to
put Cringer in the logo.
They should have. That was a big mistake on their part.
Why did you send me away?
I wanted you to be safe. So I sent you to a place I knew that they'd never find you. There's...
God, imagine that. You come from a world of super duper science and magic and all this cool shit, and we're going to send you to Earth because it's normal.
I will give him the props of, and I know that Kevin Smith is not, I mean, he's of the pronouns crowd himself, unfortunately. But I do think having the he, him on his desk name is actually pretty damn funny.
I do too.
Yeah, that was my read on it. Some people have been losing their minds over it, but I thought it was a deliberate nod to He-Man. Yeah.
I do
think
too.
it's also a deliberate mind that he was put in a place where he is going to absolutely not be seen as He-Man. And a guy who has pronouns on his name tag is somebody who is absolutely 100% not a He-Man.
But you see how he's wearing kind of a pinkish shirt that's supposed to be a callback to his outfit in the cartoon?
Yeah.
And the figures?
This obsession with nerd stuff and sword things, it's not a good look for human resources.
I know it sounds crazy, but that sword is gonna show me the way home.
Okay, they did get that sword pretty well perfect. It looks exactly like it's supposed to. So I have no complaints.
It looks like the sword I remember playing with, back with the 2002 series too.
Mm-hmm.
You got it right.
Got it right.
Sir, you can't do that.
Don't worry. The sword's mine.
Okay, there's an inside joke there. Did you see who the character that's holding it is?
Conan.
No, it isn't Conan. It's the barbarian guy that they produced. What was his name? I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, he was a character, and it was like, he looked pretty much like a Conan type character. Vicor, yes, thank you very much, Damien. I appreciate you. Yeah, that's Vicor. So yeah, it's another member berry. I'm sorry, this thing is going to be full of member berries. We already knew it, but that's okay as long as they get the shit right and it's a good story. I want it to be good. I so want this to be good, guys. I so want this to be good.
Hang on, it's about to get weird.
I guess that's Tila. I don't have any complaints. I really don't. I mean,
it is another Ginger replacement.
She looks white.
Isn't she a bit of each? Because isn't Idris Elba Man at Arms?
Yeah, we'll get to him in a minute. But I mean, the outfit looks pretty correct. She looks Tila-ish. I mean, yeah, she doesn't have her hair styled up with the beret thing that she wears, but still.
I'm glad they didn't try to cast Zoe Salata as her.
Oh Jesus, or Zendaya.
Yeah. Oh.
All right, so you got Roboto on the end, you got Man at Arms, you got Adam, you got Tila, and then you got Cringer. And I mean, I can't complain. They look pretty good. I mean, Roboto doesn't look exactly like he did as a toy, but still.
I mean, neither does Man at Arms. I mean, he looks close, but you clearly tell who he's supposed to be, and the glorious mustache is right there.
I guess the only complaint I really have is I've got too many echoes of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
But that's not a bad thing.
No, but again, it's like I see it and I'm thinking other movie. I'm thinking of something. I'm not thinking of He-Man and the Masters of Eternia. I'm thinking of Guardians of the Galaxy, where I'm starting to think like, oh no, they're not just making it a Guardians knockoff, are they?
It's not a James Gunn production, so. But I wouldn't be surprised. I think a lot of or movies with lots of characters in it are all going to have kind of a similar structure to Guardians. I hate to say, but that's okay. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy is, those are some decent films. I mean, come on. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Hang on a minute.
Guardians.
Wait a minute. Oh, whoops. Did I moved it too far. Sorry. My fault. Why he looks like a hobo? Why? I don't know.
Because the palace has been destroyed and therefore he's homeless?
I guess so. I mean, it's like, what happened, Idris? Your last album not sell?
What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I got excited about this. I got super excited about this, and then I read who it was.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who it is?
Old Jared Leto.
Jared, the Kiss of Death, Leto.
But everyone hates him, so that might work out all right.
Oh, take care, Raven. See you, bud.
As long as he doesn't start saying any used condoms or bullets to the rest of the cast, maybe we'll be okay.
Dead pigs.
As long as one of the member berries is not trying to shoehorn in a Skeletor meme.
Oh, I'm sure.
Take the sword.
Oh, that was Spycore. Actually, I think you're about to see him get his... Yeah, it's Fisto.
Take the sword.
Yeah, that was Spycore. There's Fisto. There goes Spycore. Oh, wait a minute. That was Trapjaw. Did you see?
Sword. You protect them.
Oh, it is.
That's Trapjaw.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, I'm so glad they put him in. And he looks pretty cool.
From behind with the,
Well, you saw him from the front, but it was kind of like, blurry
background and not really all that easy to see, but I mean, it does look pretty good. So far, all the characters have looked pretty good. And
yeah.
Meadow or not, Skeletor looks awesome.
He does look good. That was Beastman.
The Terminator.
Well, lightning does strike, occasionally. That was Beastman.
Yeah.
That was Evil Lyn. That is Evil Lyn.
And that's there you go. There's your answer. That's clearly Tila.
Yeah. I mean, he just looks good. I mean, yes, it's a CG tiger. Yes, you can tell it's a CG tiger. I don't care. It looks okay.
All right. We'll have to go get the green tiger somewhere else, okay?
Yes. That dude is pretty cut.
I'm not bad with the physique.
No, I'm not bad with the physique. I mean, yeah, he doesn't look as bulky as the figures, but still, I mean, He-Man's kind of...
He does look as bulky as the figures. We've all seen the meme, here's the unrealistic standard of beauty for Barbie. Here's He-Man.
Mm-hmm. I like this. So Fisto is still white. Is he and Duncan not brothers in this version? I don't imagine they are, Damien. Tila, Evil Lyn isn't a ginger. No, Evil Lyn isn't a ginger. She's like golden skinned or yellow skinned and with dark hair. Evil Lyn canonically has white hair. I've never seen her hair. I don't think I remember. I mean, I think it was white in the cartoon, but I'm busy trying to figure out who these guys are. They're just generics. Snake Mountain! I don't know who the devil-looking guy next to him is, but he's got the staff. Huh?
That's, of course, we're going with buff Skeletor.
Of course. Well, I mean, because he's buffed.
Originally, he was kind of scrawny, wasn't he?
No. I mean, all the male figures were designed off the exact same body, so they all looked identical body-wise. You just had to buy into the thing that He-Man was just that much stronger than everybody else, despite everybody else looking like they had consumed the entire world's supply of steroids. So, what do we think about this, guys? I really want to like it. I really do. I don't have anything really negative to say about it, to be quite honest. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, there's a serious negative. Now, maybe the movie has this, and they just foolishly did not include it in the actual trailer. But I did not see any Dolph Lundgren cameo.
We should get it.
That's they had that whole thing where they're like, "Oh, I found your sword," where he gets the email, so he's clearly been searching for this sword in the real world. That's what it needs to be, like the shop guy or the curiosities collector or whatever guy, broker that he's working with is trying to find his sword. Needs to be Dolph Lundgren.
It does. I agree.
For you.
They definitely won't put Frank Langella in it at all, because Frank Langella pretty much got, barred from Hollywood for, being Me Too'd and everything. Poor Orc Child says, when do we get Thunder the Barbarian? I think I've heard something about they are kicking it around, or someone is looking at it, or going to make a fan movie or something. I don't know. If AI gets far enough along, we'll be able to make it ourselves and enjoy it.
look, if we're going to jump into Hanna-Barbera stuff, they need to finish Pirates of Darkwater before they screw around with anything else.
That would be cool too. And I mean, why not?
To do with CG these days.
Yeah. Okay, so
the series will be a public domain and we just make it.
Yeah. Do I prefer He-Man with the chest harness or the battle armor? I'm gonna say the chest harness just because that was the first version of He-Man I ever saw and the one I had the most often. Now, when he did get the battle armor, I thought the battle armor was cool, but I don't really remember him using it much in the show, and that was kind of the thing, is because He-Man was so tied into the toys, the cartoons were, a lot of the stuff that you wanted to see was in the cartoons, but I don't remember the battle armor making it into the show. But
I guarantee you the battle armor made it into at least one episode because it wasn't nothing but a commercial for toys.
Yeah, it was. Damien, I'm going to say Dolph Lundgren should actually be playing Randor. That would be cool, right? Bob says the only thing you don't like is Earth being in the movie, but you'll get past that. Yeah,
that's for me. That's my reservation as well.
Yeah, I don't think it'll last long.
It's the one thing I wish we didn't really have to deal with. Again, it's between the original movie and I feel like again the Guardians of the Galaxy vibe is got me hesitating a little bit.
Well, the deep lore does have astronauts from Earth landing on Eternia, and
it's true,
getting involved in everything. But I think it just detracts from concentrating on the fantasy of the whole thing.
If I remember right, Adam's mom is an astronaut from Earth, so we're missing Chaos Magic Orko. Yeah, I didn't see Orko in it, and I'm gonna be honest. I don't mind. I really don't mind if they don't put Orko in this because I always thought Orko was fucking stupid.
I was going to say it'd be like complaining that there's no Snarf in the Thundercats live action movie.
Yeah.
Like that would be an improvement if there was no Snarf.
I bet there will be if there's a Thundercats movie, but
of course there will be because they're going to want to turn him into a plushie anyway. So Belle Delphine to dunk in her bathwater.
If the He-Man show takes up, they're expecting it to be doing Barbie numbers. If it does, yeah, I would expect Mattel to start going through its entire toy line to find new IPs to put on the screen. I guarantee you. Pirates 2, yes. Chest harness, battle armor. Okay, I didn't see the 2000 series. I'm an old school guy.
You should go back and watch that. You really should go watch that 2000 series. That was my introduction to He-Man, and it still holds a soft spot for me. Like I really like it.
Okay, I probably can.
It was a bit more sci-fi, wasn't it, than the original?
I remember they were getting some of the stuff with like Orko and where he came from. We were getting a bunch of like sci-fi elements kind of brought in more. And plus, like, what would you rather watch? Go rewatch the 2000 He-Man or Star Trek Academy?
I watched the Dolph Lundgren movie twice in the theater. But then again, that was at the height of the cartoon and the toys and everything else. And yeah, that was a different time. But there we go, guys. Okay, so there you go, Grim. Not that bad today, huh? I mean, the only really negative thing we've really shit on was Starfleet Academy, and I think it absolutely deserves it. It's clearly made by people who don't value the IP, don't value the lore, don't value you. They don't value the audience that they're trying to get either, because everything about that show is supposed to be attracting the younger audience who isn't us, and everything about that show that is being broadcast is their opinion of what they think of that audience.
Pretty much.
Speaking of endlessly rebooted properties, look what I got.
Oh, wow. Is that the... Wow,
it's the re-up.
The re-up, yeah. I've got the original somewhere. Oh, wow. Transdimensional Adventures. I never saw that one before.
Yeah, it's basically all the old books in 2 volumes.
Cool.
But they haven't really updated very much.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. What are we doing tomorrow, Grim?
You're running your game, aren't you?
Am I? Okay. Yes. I'm just wanting to make sure. All right, I'll run mine. Yes, TMNT. You got the red, white, and black books. Ooh.
Yeah, they did all covers.
I got the red, white, and black original of the Palladium role-playing game. Like, mine is a really old edition. That is still terrible, Palladium. Yeah, but it's terrible in kind of a lovable way, you know? It's like you expect, especially with Rift, it's like it's bad, but you know it's bad, so you just kind of have fun with it. It's like watching cocaine-fueled 80s movies. You know they're bad, but it's still fun. Speaking of which, all I really got this week for fun is this old one right here. Wait a minute, where is it? Where's my here? Classic.
I got my copy of the Shin Megami Tensei role-playing game.
Yeah, awesome. I've had mine for a little while now, so you'll have to tell me how it is. I did have a friend who sent me the complete 5 big ol' ass book set of Battle Angel Alita, so that's finally catch up on all that. If I ever get around to it, because Jesus Christ, I still have to get through the whole Ghost in the Shell book. But all right, guys, what do you say we close up for today?
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, go play some 7 Days or something.
Sure.
All right. All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all for hanging out with us today. Appreciate it. I hope you weren't too disturbed by my rant. I hope you took some of that, that information to some sort of positivity. I hope you liked what we thought of various things. And if not, well, I guess you'll let me know in the comments, right?
I will definitely let you know what we don't like.
Yeah, for sure. Meantime, y'all take care, and we'll see you later.
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams.